Do you want to achieve an almost photographic memory for important study sessions? Then look no further than this video. Let's briefly examine what happens during learning. The processes of learning, memory, neuroplasticity, and neural circuit refinement are tightly coupled to acetylation, methylation, and phosphorylation of histones, around which your DNA is wrapped, as well as to the synergistic or antagonistic interactions between these post-translational modifications, which result from the prior mentioned mechanisms. At rest, memory and learning critical genes are locked in a transcriptionally silent state called heterochromatin. When studying, stimuli activate HATs such as CBP and P300, which briefly reverse this lock by adding acetyl groups and recruiting other proteins involved in opening and transcription. You can picture this like a closed notebook bound by a band with a tight knot. The HATs begin untying the knot and loosening the band by adding acetyl groups, while the recruited proteins help strip the band off and open the book, allowing you to write or rewrite notes. However, this transcriptional window is short and permits only limited transcription, fundamentally restricting memory consolidation. Why is it so brief? This is where HDACs come in. Especially class 1 HDACs are rapidly recruited back to these loci via multi-protein corepressor complexes like SYN3A, NuRD, and NCO-RSMRT. They attempt to reclose the notebook and restore the band with the knot. This biochemical feedback limits the duration and magnitude of the transcriptional response to a given stimulus like learning. This is where HDACs inhibitors come into play. They disrupt the silencing process by chelating the catalytic zinc ion at the HDAC's active site, effectively preventing its attempt to silence transcription. This significantly amplifies and prolongs the transcription of proteins that are the building block of your memory, transforming early-phase LTP, which fades in minutes, into translation-dependent late-phase LTP that builds your long-term memory and persists for hours, significantly strengthening and stabilizing new memories. Your notebook is now not being closed after only a few notes written down, but stays open for longer, allowing you to copy entire texts. For effective inhibition, pharmacological agents like varanostat or the optimized crebinostat are required. It's also advised to add a neurogenic compound like NSI-189 to facilitate the learning process and to study in a calm environment. However, it is crucial to know what you are doing. The plasticity they enable opens up the possibility of literal childhood trauma in adulthood when having a shaping experience while on them. They also must be used sparingly to avoid epigenetic noise or dysregulation of epigenetic architecture. HDACs are not simple on-off switches but key regulators of cognition and cell function. Prolonged exposure impairs DNA repair and causes myelosuppression, hepatotoxicity, neurotoxicity, and genotoxicity. Young individuals especially depend on well-timed HDAC systems for proper genetic development. If you have suggestions for future videos, feel free to comment them below and don't forget to like the video.